I listen to American Timelines.
I listen to American Timelines.
I listen to American Timelines while I poop.
While I poop.
While I poop.
American Timelines is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Find out more at queencitypodcastnetwork.com.
It's the greatest podcast ever.
History.
Samantha, that's a hickey.
So now I'm obsessed with time. Come on, tell me about the time. Had it all in my hand tonight. Had the time of my life when the words all come.
Okay. Welcome to another episode of American Timelines. I'm Amy.
And I'm Floyd Belkin, otherwise known as Arm Fall Off Boy.
Who's Arm Fall Off Boy?
Oh, I am a superhero in DC Comics. I can rip my arms off and hit you with them. I'm
yeah.
Arm Fall Off Boy, but my alter ego is Floyd Belkin, y'all.
Floyd Belkin?
Floyd Belkin.
Who's Floyd Belkin?
You call me Floyd Belkin, and when I get angry, I rip my arms off and I hit you with them. I'm a comic book character.
I guess you already told me that.
Arm Fall Off Boys, Floyd Belkin, the greatest superhero ever.
All right. This is the podcast that brings you all the crazy, nostalgic, interesting things from the past.
Yeah.
And we do it year by year.
And I came up with a podcast. I'm Floyd Belkin, and I come up with podcast ideas. I'm a guest host.
All right, Floyd.
Or something. Floyd Belkin, y'all. Yeah, this podcast is stupid and shitty. So
that's our bumper sticker.
Don't expect too much.
Nope.
This is a shitty and stupid podcast.
Okay, stop.
We focus on history and pop culture.
And we don't have to explain it.
And rape.
And so, you're kind of right. And so today we're talking about 1965.
And we're married and in love.
That's right.
And we look at each other's nipples.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I don't know why you got to get graphic.
Well, I mean, just if there's something wrong with your my nipple, you'll check it out and be like, ugh.
So 1965, we're finally in.
1965, we're approaching halfway through the decade.
Yes, the 1960s.
Halfway through season 4.
Mid-60s.
Yeah. Well, we're not halfway, like about 4 episodes into 65. We'll be halfway through the season.
So anyway, what is the first thing we want to talk about?
Not so fast. Slow your roll, if you will, because there are a couple little things I forgot in 1964.
I felt like we were pretty thorough.
Well, it wasn't that I forgot them. It's that, well, one thing I did miss off of weirduniverse.net.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, popculture.us got it wrong, and they have it listed as happening in 65.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it really happened in 64, but there's some scuttlebutt. You know how sometimes on Wikipedia something will say conflicting information.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we find that looking up dates. It's hard to find dates of things sometimes because people don't remember.
And you're probably referring to some kind of episode of some program.
No. No, why would you assume that?
Because you are so thorough with those.
Or is it just because we just recently, 2 episodes ago, covered Samantha getting a hickey?
Yes.
The greatest episode of any sitcom ever. No, the first thing was in August of 64. We'll just backtrack just a minute. Big burpers may be tomorrow's leaders. At the International Congress of Psychiatrists in London, Dr. Milton Berger presented a paper in which he suggested that a baby's burps might be predictive of its personality and future success in life. A baby with strong and clear burps, he said, was likely to grow up to become a leader. However, a baby with soft, dithering burps would be a nobody, a failure, a piece of garbage.
I don't think either of our children burped like real loud.
I don't remember either one of them, and they are failures.
It's true. So I guess he might be right.
Yeah, that's a stupid thing, and I kind of wish I didn't even bring it up.
Yeah.
that wasn't even worth it.
Nope.
Going back. But this other thing is. This other thing that we're not sure if it's 64 65, so I'll put it up front of the 65 episode. Because I think this is interesting. Randy Gardner.
Yeah.
I feel like I know a Randy Gardner.
I feel like I do too.
Randy Gardner of San Diego is the person who has gone the longest without sleep.
Oh my God, this story's gonna kill me.
He did it for 11 days in 1965.
God,
You love sleep.
I love it. Sleeping is my favorite thing to do.
Imagine this. Imagine 11 days.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
He was a high school student in San Diego, California, and he actually awake from 11 days and 25 minutes, 264.4 hours.
Oh my.
This period of sleeplessness broke the previous record of 260.
So wait a
hours,
minute.
held by DJ Tom Rounds. And
This was a Guinness Book of World Record?
Yeah.
That is even worse than what I was thinking.
Why?
I thought he had some kind of insomnia that was awful.
No. His record attempt was
He did this on purpose?
It was attended by Stanford sleep researcher Dr. William C. Dement, and Gardner's health was monitored by Lieutenant Commander John J. Ross.
How did he...
I don't know why. And a log was kept by Bruce McAllister and Joe Marciano Jr., two of his classmates.
I bet there was a log.
They were from Point Loma High School.
Now listen.
Which on our other podcast, Notable Alumni, we would go into the fact that that's the same school that Marion Ross from Happy Days went to. Home of the Pointers. They wear maroon and gold.
God, you ramble.
And then current day news. I just want to talk about this high school a little bit. Current day news at this high school, there was some news just recently that, according to the local San Diego News Channel 7, a bullet was recently found in the bathroom at Point Loma High School.
Okay.
Prompting an investigation by school police. And they also found out that some custodian's keys were stolen from his cart.
Oh, is that, you found that out too?
Yeah, but they think those two things are
not
unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah, that's current news. Like that happened like this
unrelated.
week. Yeah, but it's still at that same high school that this kid went to, and also Marion from Happy Days.
Okay, I'm glad we got that. I forgot what we were originally even talking about at this point.
Randy Gardner, who attempted 11 days without sleep
On purpose. How did he do it?
So back to this again. He just stayed awake, and it's.
How do you just stay awake?
But here's the thing: it's often claimed that Gardner's experiment demonstrated that extreme sleep deprivation has little effect other than mood changes associated with tiredness.
What?
So a lot of people say like he did it to prove that you don't need sleep.
Yeah.
But in fact, researcher William Dement stated that on the 10th day of the experiment, he hadn't slept for 10 days.
Yeah.
Gardner had been able to beat Dement at pinball. So they were like,
my
you don't
God.
need sleep. However, let me take the other side of the coin here.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Commander John J. Ross, who was monitoring his health, reported serious cognitive and behavioral changes.
Yeah.
These included moodiness, concentration problems, short-term memory, paranoia, and hallucinations.
Jeez, no kidding.
On the 11th day, when he was asked to subtract 7 repeatedly, starting with 100.
I couldn't do that on a sober day.
I couldn't be
fresh
I
as a daisy. I couldn't do that.
I could do that on 20 hours of sleep.
No.
He stopped at 65, and when they asked him why he stopped, he replied he had forgotten what he was doing.
Yeah. I do that every day too.
That's even with sleep.
That's such a common occurrence where I'm like, what was I doing?
Why am I in this room? Why am I in this room with my wiener out?
What was I just doing? I can't.
See, I got my wiener out and I have some syrup in my hand, some maple syrup. What
in
am I
the
doing?
world was I doing?
What was I going to do with this?
Wrap presents.
Yeah, that's right. Wrapping presents. That's how you do it.
Yep.
On the final day, Gardner presided over a press conference where he spoke without slurring or stumbling his words, and in general appeared to be in excellent health. I wanted to prove, that bad things didn't happen if you went without sleep. I'm in high school, and I thought I can break that record, and I don't think it would be a negative experience. Gardner's sleep recovery was observed by sleep researchers who noted changes in sleep structure during post-deprivation recovery. So after he completed his record, Gardner slept for 14 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
The first time. And then he woke naturally around 8:40 p.m. And then stayed awake until 7:30 p.m. the next day. So he stayed up for almost 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then he slept an additional 10 and a half hours. Gardner appeared to have fully recovered from his loss of sleep with follow-up sleep recordings taken 1, 6, and 10 weeks after the fact, showing no significant differences. No long-term psychological or physical effects have been observed.
Really?
Yep.
I'm surprised. Like, I don't know why. I would think there would be some psychological effect of that much sleep deprivation.
Yeah, and now he's in jail.
Like, I would feel like it would damage your brain.
You would think, but that's the thing. Sleep is so cleaning and clean stops.
Right.
And it's like there's all this stuff now about.
Well,
I'm getting all
body
these
breasts.
I'm getting all these notifications on my phone and everything, probably because I Googled this story
Yeah.
and I researched this.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting sleep, like recommendations for how much sleep I should get,
Oh,
what
yeah.
sleep does, how beneficial sleep is.
So now you're an expert on sleep.
Yeah, well, no, I think I think the computers, internets think I'm thinking about sleep, like not going to sleep ever again
Yeah.
because I searched up this so
Oh,
much.
okay.
Like sleep deprivation. I just keep getting articles about you need sleep. Here's why sleep's important. Sleep's so important.
they're trying to
Sleep
talk
does
you
this.
into it.
I guess just because like whatever you Google, they just
Mm-hmm.
they think that's what you. I don't know.
I don't
I think
either.
the aliens that are controlling us watch what we're searching.
Nope.
And then now we're in 1965. So January 1st of 1965 was a Friday.
Okay.
And as usual, there's some things at the beginning of this year that I either got lazy and I couldn't find the dates, or you just really couldn't find the dates, or but a couple of them happened on the first, or
Yeah.
some were just like things of this year. The price of a Volkswagen Beetle
Yes.
in 1965. Do you want to take a shot?
$6,000. Probably way off.
$1,595.
Oh, wow.
$1,595.
That's a new one.
Price of a movie ticket. What do you think? 1965.
Oh, 50 cents.
Play along at home. 50 cents? Wrong. Duh.
What is it?
It's $1.
Hey, I'm not that off. I'm
That's
not
you're
that
50
far
cents off.
Yeah.
You're 50% off. A couple board games.
Yeah.
Mystery Date and Trouble.
Oh, mystery date.
Board games. Did you ever, you know what that is?
I think it's the one where it's like 3D cardboard and it comes up and there's little cardboard cutout
Like memory
men,
or something?
and it's like you have a mystery date. I think that's what it is.
Also, this game.
Operation Milton Bradley's goofy game for dopey doctors.
Oh,
Here's your
Operation.
patient. You take a card.
Remove funny bone.
Careful, if you touch the sides. You blew it, Charlie. Next.
Take out Red Stanko.
A winner. Operation. An electric game from Milton Bradley.
I should get that game for my classroom. They can work
Yeah.
on their fine motor skills.
Yeah, you didn't freak out those kids.
Poor kids that have real bad fine motor skills. They get a
Yeah.
bad complex.
They get shocked.
Yeah.
It's like shocking them. It doesn't. Seem
It doesn't
like it's
shock you. It just
It
makes a
doesn't.
noise
Shocks
and
you.
shakes.
It shocks you.
It does look like it's shocking you, though.
Also, in 1965, Slumber Party Barbie dolls came out, and they came with a diet book entitled "How to Lose Weight," which included texts like "Don't eat" and bathroom scale set to 110 pounds.
Oh, boy.
That's good for
Yep.
girls. Did you know that AstroTurf was invented in 1965?
Oh, I did not. My grandma and grandpa had it in their indoor screened-in porch.
Yeah, old people always did that. That was great. The original AstroTurf brand was co-invented by Donald Elbert, James Faria, and Robert Wright, and patented in 1965. Originally sold under the name Chemgrass, but later it was rebranded as AstroTurf when they put it in the Houston Astrodome in 66. But according to Encyclopedia.com, the impetus for artificial turf research and development was not the furtherance of professional sport, as might be assumed by the fact that these products are most visibly displayed in athletic stadiums, but Monsanto, a large chemical products company who employed these guys that invented this, had become interested in the development of an artificial grass after the U.S. government had commissioned a study in 1958 that had concluded that inner city schools did not have sufficient green space to permit outdoor physical education activities. So Monsanto saw an opportunity to develop a service that could address this need.
Oh, so they were using that on playgrounds and stuff?
Well, yeah, they were just using it so there was no room, so they put it places where kids could run around. So
Oh,
even
okay.
indoors,
Yeah.
probably indoors, like in hallways and stuff, like kids couldn't, when you're in an inner city,
Yeah.
there's nowhere to run around.
Right.
So they probably just filled rooms with it so kids could run around and play.
It's crazy to think that. Like, as a kid, there's no place to run around. And
Yeah, if you grew up in a
Yeah.
big city, you can't. Just like they're putting those, like farms on top of tall buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Caution, cigarette smoking may be hazardous to your health. Started in 1965.
Oh, did it?
A 1964 report on smoking and health had an impact on public attitudes and policy. A Gallup survey conducted in 1958 found that only 44% of Americans believed smoking caused cancer. So in 1965, Congress required all cigarette packages distributed in the U.S. to carry a health warning. And since 1970, this warning is made in the name of the Surgeon General. And by 1968, 78% believed smoking caused cancer.
By 1968?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So after they started that. And then in 1969, cigarette advertising on television and radio was banned, effective September 1970.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It happened. They put it in place in 1970.
In television?
Yes.
Okay, but still probably on the radio. You could
television and radio.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Listen closely.
I thought that, I remembered cigarette commercials.
I also thought that.
So
I guess I don't.
I guess I don't either.
I guess you're a liar.
I guess my brain is lying to me.
I may have seen cigarette commercials like on a movie or something, like somewhere maybe.
Probably.
Did you know that girls used to buy comic books just as often as boys? In 1965?
I didn't know that.
Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane was the third best-selling title in 1965, selling 4 times as many copies as today's most popular comic book.
Oh, so, yep.
Also in 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. gave his longest interview ever. You want to guess what magazine he did it for?
Life.
Playboy.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. That's weird.
Yeah. And it ran in 2 parts with Alex Haley as the interviewer.
Wow.
And then he posed and played girl the next month.
Stop.
No, he
it's
didn't.
Gross.
I don't think he did.
Playgirl is just gross.
Playgirl is disgusting.
I mean,
it's for gay guys.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Totally.
James Russell in 1965 invented the compact disc.
That early?
That early.
Wow.
Although it didn't come out to the public until 1980.
Okay, so it was just the nerds, the nerdy scientists that had it.
James Russell was just working on it. Like, he was an avid music listener.
I see.
But he liked classics and stuff, Beethoven and all that, and he'd get real mad, pissed off because of the wear and tear of his vinyl records, poor quality. So he tried to improve it, the record player, and he started off using a cactus needle instead of a steel one to see if that would help.
Yeah. And
it didn't work.
No, I wouldn't think.
He said after each year, you had to resharpen the needle, motherfucker. And then, so alone at home on a Saturday afternoon, he suddenly realized that the wear and tear of the records, due to the contact from the stylus to the record, can be avoided by using light to read the music.
Wow, I can't even imagine being that smart.
Without physically touching the disc, yeah. And so... And everybody said, no, you idiot, you can't do that. And he was like, no, I think you can. He was also familiar with digital data and punch cards and magnetic tape and all that kind of stuff, which I don't understand how tapes work. Like cassette tapes?
Yeah.
I never understood how.
I don't know how I don't know how a record works.
How the hell can that be on a tape and it just plays the music? Like,
yeah,
I don't understand any of it. But he figured he could accomplish this in a digital way, making tiny binary code small enough that it could store entire symphonies.
It just blows my mind. I can't even.
Yeah, and so people thought he was stupid, but he was like, "No, trust me."
Too bad he didn't copyright that shit.
I think he did.
You think he?
Yeah, he worked. Well, there was a company that employed him to do this, do all this research.
Oh, okay.
Do all this stuff. So I'm sure he made a pretty penny.
I hope so.
And also, so I put this on the beginning of the year because I couldn't. This is the one that really kills me. I couldn't find the date for this. But apparently, U.S. Senator John McCain won on Jeopardy in 1965.
Really?
He was a contestant on Jeopardy and won.
I didn't know Jeopardy was on that in 1965.
Yeah, he won in one episode. So it was on. It wasn't hosted by Alex Trebek then. It ran from like 65 or 50s to 69 or something. And then it went away for a while, and then it came back in the 80s with Alex Trebek. So you can find a log of everybody who was on it in the 80s, an Alex Trebek version. Mm-hmm. But the old ones, you can't. You can find just some logs, because they used to. Mm-hmm. This is how much research I did on this fucking thing to try to find it. They used to tape over the tapes.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
we don't need this one. It's the old one.
Well, if you think how expensive it all was, so they don't have any records of it anymore, because
they just reuse
episode 1 is gone because episode 2 was all over it, and then episode 3. So I'm guessing that's why they taped over it, because everything was so expensive. But just the thought of that, everything else in the world is archived all the time, but they didn't have any of that stuff. But so there's in the Library of Congress somewhere, there's like 2 seasons, like 1964, 1966 or something.
Really?
They have records of who was on it and who won it and all that stuff. And some
they have the video of it.
I don't know
no?
if it's the video or if they wrote down I don't know exactly what it is, but somebody went and found it and posted it online because they needed to know who was on the 60s. And there's all these people.
John McCain.
John McCain. No, John MCain talked about being on it. That's how we know.
Oh, okay.
He did an interview talking about it. And he even still remembers the question that he's dead now, rest in peace, but he remembered in the interview what question he got wrong. He was mad about it still. But they verified that. But he's not listed on that list of, because that way I could find the date. Mm-hmm. But the list of ones they found in the archive, I found all kinds of blogs of people saying, hey, my grandmother was on Jeopardy in the 60s, and I'm trying to find out when it is. Can anybody help me? And they were like, Library of Congress has this list. Like, there's a nerd about everything. Any topic on the internet you want to find, there's some jackass who cares more than you. Except Dolly Parton.
I just realized who you look like with that mustache and those glasses on.
I have a mustache and big glasses on.
You look like Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer.
Oh, I look like a murderer.
Yep.
People do.
You're not as fat. Ed Kemper was 6'9", and he was a big fat guy too. But
thanks a lot.
You're not fat like him, but you're with those glasses and
I'm fat enough that I look like
those
that
glasses and that mustache. Look up Ed Kemper real quick, and you'll see.
Oh yeah, well, you know who you look like?
Who?
You look like that lady from Kentucky who wouldn't let gay guys get married.
I don't know who that is.
Remember that lady that's all over the news?
I'm sure she was attractive.
Yeah, no, she wasn't. I was trying to insult you.
I know you were.
As bad as you insulted me.
No, I'm sorry, sweetheart. That's not. You know what I mean. It's just the mustache is interesting.
You look like Senator Orrin Hatch.
Thanks.
Like a sexy version.
I can see
sexy
that.
Halloween version of him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, in 1965, a farmer dug up the lower jawbone of a mammoth while in the process of expanding his cellar.
Really?
And further excavation revealed the presence of 4 huts made up of a total of 149 mammoth bones. These dwellings, dating back some 15,000 years, were determined to have been some of the oldest shelters known to have been constructed by prehistoric man, usually attributed to Cro-Magnon.
Really?
Yep. Also found on the site, a map inscribed onto a bone, presumably showing the area around the settlement. Remains of a drum made of mammoth skull painted with a pattern of red ochre dots and lines.
I guess I wasn't.
Amber ornaments and fossil shapes.
I guess I wasn't positive.
This was like in Ukraine or somewhere.
I wasn't positive that we lived the same time as the woolly mammoths. Like, I guess I didn't realize that.
Well, we didn't.
Well, people exist. I didn't realize people existed the same time the mammoths.
Could be aliens.
What are you talking about?
Cavemen. Also, in 1965, I don't know if you know this, but the species of banana that we eat today is different than the species eaten pre-1965. Did you know that?
Oh, I think I had heard that before.
No, you didn't. According to Curiosity.com, the Gross Michael banana, also called the Big Mike banana, was the dominant banana variety exported and eaten in the U.S. Until around 1960, when a fungus called Panama disease infiltrated banana plantations. It nearly wiped out the Gross Michael banana entirely.
Wow.
Growers had to resort to the Cavendish banana, the shitty fucking Cavendish banana, to save the industry, despite the fact that this longer cultivar was thought to be less tasty and more prone to bruising. Today, we enjoy Cavendish bananas pretty much exclusively.
I wonder if you can get the other kind.
Though they, too, are in danger of being decimated by fungus now, I guess.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're going to lose all our bananas.
I love bananas.
We're going to lose all of our bananas.
I wonder if you can try the other kind of banana. The old kind. It'd be interesting.
No. The bananas will go away, and then all we'll get to eat is those shitty plantains.
They're good fried up.
Everything's good fried up, even a turd.
Yeah,
I ate a turd. I ate a turd.
I don't know why you're bringing that up.
Sorry, I just wanted to.
You really needed to confess.
I just felt like the world needed to know that. Also, in 1965, Pete Best released an album.
Okay.
In 1965, again, could not for the life of me find the fucking date this was released, so it's sometime in the year.
Yeah.
And it was called Best of the Beatles.
Oh.
A lot of people got pissed off because they bought it thinking it was a compilation of the best Beatles songs, and it wasn't. It was just Pete Best shit music.
Oh, no.
And he got sued for consumer fraud, but it was dropped because no fraud had committed because he was Best, and he was of the Beatles. Yep.
Yeah, but not anymore, right? He was formerly of the Beatles.
He was of the Beatles at some point, and he was Best.
I guess.
So that's the only way that fucking guy could make any money.
It's sad. Sad for him.
He's been the Beatles.
Maybe he was an asshole.
Well, he probably, allegedly, he killed Jam Master Jay.
I don't know if that's true.
He might have. And now I want to play a YouTube video for you of an interview of Soupy Sales.
Yeah. Talking
about what he did when he was a popular wacky children's show host.
Yes.
And he's going to explain what he did one day to get kicked off the air.
In 1965, I did what is considered the greatest minute ad lib in the history of television, because not only did it prove how powerful the medium was, but it got me thrown off the air. Now I was always accused of saying a lot of other things which I didn't, but this I did, because I thought it was 5 minutes before 7, and we were doing the show in the evening. It was New Year's Day night, and we were in a commercial, and the director comes over to the car and says, "When we come out, you're going to have a minute. What do you want to do?" Well, I was writing all the shows. If I could save a bit for the next day, I would do it. So I said, I'll ad-lib something. So he knows I always work so close to the camera, closer than anybody else. So when it came out, I walked up to the camera and went, "Hey, kids," I said, "last night was New Year's Eve, and your mom and dad were out having a good time. And it's only right because they work hard all year long. They're probably still in the bedroom sleeping. I said, what I want you to do is tiptoe in the bedroom, but don't wake them up. And you'll probably see your mom's pocketbook on the floor and your dad's pants, but don't wake them up." I said, "I want you to go in your mom's pocketbook and your dad's pants, and you'll see a lot of green pieces of paper with pictures of guys with beards." I said, "Why don't you what I want you to do is take those green pieces of paper and you put them in an envelope, and on the envelope you write Soupy Sales, Channel 5.
Do that.
New York, New York, and you know what I'm going to send you? A postcard from Puerto Rico."
So audience, I want my dollar back.
And we came in. That's my ride home. So I come in the next week, we had $80,000. So I said, well, hell, that's
pretty funny.
Working. You just buy a minute.
Did he really get all that money?
People send you money.
Let's see if he's...
Now, some woman from New Jersey wrote a letter to the FCC and sent a copy to Metro Media and said, "I was encouraging the kids to steal." Oh, really? So now, you know, if you get 2 or 3 letters or 2 or 3 calls, you don't pay any attention to it because people will watch and listen to you. They hate you. If you get 40 or 50, there's something else. Shh. So anyway, so now I come in one day and they said, "The executives would like to see you upstairs in the conference room after the show." And I said, "They're probably going to give me a raise." So I walked up there, and I do not lie. I walked in, there are 11 attorneys, 10 guys, a woman, Muriel Reese, she's still there today. The vice president, general manager, and the vice president jumps in. Listen, that's how he talks. Did you go on TV New Year's Day night and tell the kids to go in their mother's pocket, look at their father's face, and send you a green piece of paper with pictures of guys on it with beards? I said, that's right. He said, how much did you get? I said, $80,000. And the man goes into catatonic shock. They threw me off there right then and there.
This is
and thank
5
God
days.
some people came around and threw eggs and paint at the station, and that was just my family. But I tell you, kids are very smart. They did send in green pieces of paper, Monopoly money, although I did get $1 from some 28-year-old girls that I've seen showing
that is
me.
Soupy Sales. Remember Soupy Sales?
I do.
Good night and God bless you folks.
Yeah, you were always in love with him. So that happened actually New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, covers everything that happened in the beginning of January that I have. Because that brings us to January 11th, 1965, where you got some crazy, dirty, gross story that's going to make us all wish we hadn't listened and sad. That'll make us sad.
No, it's going to be gripping and entertaining.
And sad and gross?
There might be a few gross parts and a few
It's going to
sad
make me want
parts.
to take a shower and have a stomach ache?
No.
If you're a fan of stomach aches and showers, needing showers, listen to American Timelines.
All right, so
All right.
I'm going to talk about the Wanda Beach murders.
Okay, before you get started, let's take a quick
Take a
break.
quick break, yeah.
Listen to this from our sponsors.
Waiting, we're waiting for chicken. We're sweet and sour friends. Waiting for chicken.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sweet and Sour Friends, the podcast.
For people waiting for chicken to be made.
So if
Very
you're-
specific. If you're not waiting for chicken to be made,
Yeah.
do not listen.
Please turn the podcast off immediately or find somebody to make some chicken while you're listening. Let me interview you as someone who only eats mustard.
Yeah.
How do you even get enough nutrition if you only eat mustard?
Mustard actually has all 5 food groups within it.
It does?
Yes.
Within mustard seeds? Even dairy?
Well, not food groups, but it's got protein. It's got
mustard protein?
7 vital vitamins.
Good. All right.
B12, E7,
I would think there's not a lot of
D4.
There's not a lot
I'm
of
just playing Battleship right now.
D4. There's not a lot of varieties of mustard if that's all you eat.
Yes, there are. There's brown mustard. There's spicy mustard.
That's right.
There's honey mustard.
Grey Poupon. That's brown.
Yeah,
is
Grey
that?
Poupon mustard.
Dijon.
That's Dijon
That's
mustard.
Dijon, yeah.
Dude, there's more mustards than there are people in Taiwan.
So each meal you have a different type of mustard.
Sometimes.
You ever mix mustards?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have to.
You do.
Yeah. I once had 27 mustards that I mixed together, and it tasted like mustard. I don't know. Is the chicken almost ready?
And please do not listen if you're not waiting for chicken.
We're waiting for chicken. We're sweet and sour friends.
So,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the Wanda Beach murders.
The Wanda Beach Murders?
Yes.
Wanda Beach got murdered?
No, it's a place.
Oh. I've never been to Wanda Beach.
This tale happens in Australia.
Oh, good. It's not true.
So it is not.
Welcome to Australian Timelines.
I know, but you can't always have them in. And this is one of the biggest cases in Australian history.
Well, I think I teed up a nice American one for you.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So in 1958, we'll go back to that real quick.
Oh, that was when only 40% of people thought smoking caused cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was this couple, Elizabeth and Helmut Schmidt, and they left Germany and moved to Australia.
Elizabeth and Helmut?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Helmut.
That's
something.
a kick-ass name.
They had 6 children.
No, that's too much.
And one of them was an 8-year-old girl named Mary Ann.
Oh, okay.
So they finally found a home.
It's weird that they had an 8-year-old. Like, it just came out as being an 8-year-old.
Well, no.
Oh, it grew to be 8.
It grew to be 8.
Oh.
They found their home in Sydney in 1963.
That's in Australia.
Yes. And they were neighbors with this couple, Jim and Jeanette Tague, who had their granddaughter living with them, and her name was Christine Chirac.
Now, Australia, did that start out as a prison colony? Like you just jumped all your prisoners there?
It did.
And you couldn't get off the island?
Christine and Mary Ann, who were both the same age, soon became really good friends.
8-year-old best friends.
Yes.
If these children get murdered, I'm not going to talk to you ever again.
So there was a tragedy suddenly in the Schmidt family. Within a year of moving there, the dad died of Hodgkin's disease.
Oh, no. That sucks.
And so it made Marianne and Christine even closer friends because Christine had also lost her father at a young age.
Oh, that's terrible.
So by January of 1965, it was summertime over there.
All right.
And the 15-year-old girls would spend a lot of their time at Cronulla Beach, at the Cronulla beaches.
I love Cronulla. I put it on my oatmeal and my fruit.
So on January 11th.
Oh, January 11th, 1965? Mm-hmm. That's the same day that American baseball player and journalist Wally Pipp died.
Oh.
Also the same day that Andy Griffith Show, while Barney's on vacation in Raleigh, Andy needs to find someone to fill in as a temporary deputy when Andy himself has to go to he's going to a sheriff safety conference for a few days. Nobody is available, so he's stuck with
Otis.
He's stuck with Goober.
Oh, I forgot about him.
And Goober doesn't take the job seriously.
I thought he was going to do Otis.
He still works at the filling station, and it gets so bad that Goober begins to work on cars at the sheriff's office and even ends up completely dismantling a car right inside the courthouse. Meanwhile, Aunt Bee has explosive diarrhea.
Yes, I remember that episode.
Remember that
very
one?
specifically.
And she was just like shooting liquid feces everywhere.
Yep.
That's gross.
Okay, so
that was happening during this grisly murder.
It was a windy day, and it had been storming, so it was not a great day to go to the beach, but they decided that they wanted to try.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Elizabeth, the mom, Schmidt...
Elizabeth Schmidt,
Mary Ann's mom, Elizabeth Schmidt, had
Mary
been confined to a hospital bed. She was waiting to have an operation.
At the beach?
No. I'm telling you this.
Oh.
She was waiting to have an operation, so Mary Ann was in charge of the younger children.
Oh.
So she took her 4 siblings, and they all went on a train and made their way to the beach.
Wait, so this 8-year-old is taking...
She's older than 8 now.
Oh.
She's 13 now.
Oh, I thought you said they had an 8-year-old.
Yeah, that was in 1958.
Oh.
Now it's 1965. Okay.
I guess that would be 7 years later.
Yeah. So anyway.
Math, carry the 6.
Anyway.
She's 24, I think. That's what the math is.
So.
I don't know. I can't do math.
So they arrive at around 11 o'clock.
All right. They're at the beach at 11 o'clock. What beach? Henderson? Helen Beach? Wanda Beach?
And but the winds had grown stronger, and so the beach was closed.
Oh.
But
who closes the beach when strong winds?
Marianne and Christine were determined to stay to do something at the beach, so they took their littler kids that were named Norbert, Wolfgang, Peter, and Trixie.
Oh, yes. Norbert, Wolfgang, Peter, and Trixie.
Yes.
Norbert. I love the name Norbert. Norby.
And they made their way south, and they finally found a beach that wasn't closed.
Okay. I knew a guy named Norbert once, but maybe they all should have been closed because of the wind, huh?
Could be. So the group settled.
I got it. I think I can guess. Let me just guess what happens. So, because it's so windy, an axe comes flying through the wind and chops all their heads off?
No, that's not what happens.
Okay.
So they settle near some rocks, and that gave them some protection from the wind. And the little kids swam a little bit in the shallow water, and then they ate sandwiches that they had brought with them.
At 11 o'clock at night?
In the morning.
Oh.
So during this time, while they were there, Christine had left the group and went off alone for a little while.
Oh, just to kind of find herself a little.
Nobody knows where she went, but she did come back.
She likes long walks on
and
the
at that
beach.
same time, Mary Ann's 8-year-old brother Wolfgang also saw a teenage boy nearby.
Wolfgang.
He said the boy was crab hunting with either a spear or a fishing knife.
Okay. Sounds plausible.
But his description of events would vary, and he would change it a lot, but he's a little kid.
He's an 8-year-old
and
kid.
he had
They're
a
liars.
trauma, so...
They're fucking liars.
So,
don't trust them.
But he did say that the teenager was shirtless with a blue towel slung over his shoulder with light gray bottoms.
That sounds very descriptive and distinct, so it's probably true.
So once Christine comes back, she was gone for a while. She comes back, and they decide to go further along the beach, and they're near Wanda Beach Surf Club.
Okay.
And so...
Nice upstanding club.
The little kids start to complain because they're bored. It's cold, and they want to go home.
Yeah.
And so they realize, we left our bags back at the other beach. So,
oh no, they left them unattended?
So Marianne and Christine tell the little kids to stay right here. They leave their radio with the kids, and they say, we're going to run back and get the bags, and we'll be back.
You can't do that. You can't leave little kids unattended.
So Peter sees the girls going, though, in the opposite direction of where the bags were.
And Peter's how
he's
old?
a little kid.
All right.
He yells out to them, but they just kind of laugh it off and continue to walk that same way. And also at this point, some people say Wolfgang saw that same boy that was crab hunting, and that he seemed to be following Marianne and Christine.
Well, he did have a spear.
He did. Another witness, and the last known person to see the girls alive except for their killer, was Dennis Dostin.
Dennis Dostin, y'all. And this guy was beautiful.
He was a local firefighter, and he was on the beach with his young son.
They have a mustache?
Probably in 1965.
Yeah. 1965 firefighter? Chances are yes.
He witnessed the girls walking hurriedly not far from the surf club, and according to him, they were constantly looking back behind them as they walked, and he wondered if maybe they were being followed.
Uh-oh.
By 5 p.m., the young siblings began to become worried and confused. Why were they left alone?
How old's the oldest one?
I don't know.
8?
Yeah, something like that.
Sheesh, man, you can't do
that. So
that.
they decide they're going to head back to the rocky area where they had left their bags, hoping to find Marianne.
Okay.
And they go back. They get their bags. There's no sign of either of the girls, so they decide to head home. They catch the 6 p.m. train back to Sydney.
These little kids?
Yep. And they go to where Christine's grandparents live.
They got money and stuff?
I guess that they had left. I don't know. They got home somehow.
Can you imagine if we left our 8-year-old somewhere?
No.
Like they wouldn't. When they were 8, they wouldn't have done none of this.
So they tell Grandma.
Kids are too soft these days.
Yeah, that's true. That's the moral of the story.
Look at their tablets.
They tell Grandma that Christine and Marianne had left them alone, and Grandma knows that's totally out of character for those girls.
Grandma's in a hospital bed. She's like, shit.
So she reported them missing right away.
Yep.
And the police were concerned right away as well. The girls were well behaved, had happy home lives, and no history of running away.
Yeah, not good.
So on January 12th.
Oh, you mean the same day Rob Zombie was born?
Mm-hmm.
And the same day on McHale's Navy, Ernest Borgnine is marooned on a desert island for a mandatory survival test.
Jeez.
And Parker and Binghamton are captured by a Japanese patrol. And Ernest Borgnine and the crew on the way to New Caledonia. Ernest Borgnine wasn't marooned on a desert island. Those other guys
What are you talking about?
Ernest Borgnine was on that. He played McHale.
All right. I think that's enough said about that.
Anyway, to cut to the chase, Ernest Borgnine had several tasteful nude scenes in this episode.
Okay. All right. So 17-year-old Peter Smith, along with his young nephew, was walking along Wanda Beach.
How old? 17-year-old? And he's the guy who's
around
stabbing
2:30.
the crabs?
No.
Peter
This is on the next day.
Oh,
His
the
name
next
is Peter
day.
Smith. This is
Peter
a different
Smith.
person.
Pete Smith. That's
He's
a
walking along with
stupid
his nephew at about 2:30 p.m. and he sees something on the beach.
Oh, no.
And at first he thinks it's a
whale.
No.
An
Come
octopus.
on, you can guess. Think.
Crab.
What do they always think it is at first?
Stingray.
You're not playing along with me.
I am. What were they thinking? I always think it's a stingray or a dolphin. We beached.
No. What do they
fish,
always
dead fish.
think it is when they first come across a dead body?
A mannequin.
Yes.
He thought a mannequin was on the beach?
Yes. He thought it was a mannequin, but it wasn't.
I've seen a lot of mannequins on beaches.
People always say that.
They do?
They always say they think it's a mannequin.
Well, how am I supposed to know that? What people say.
Anyway.
Maybe he thought it was a robot.
And a robot? It would have been a robot.
It would have been a robot in the 60s.
Mm-hmm. So he soon realizes it's a girl.
Oh, it's a girl person.
So they run to the nearby Wanda Beach Surf Club and report to the police.
There's a dead body.
And so the police get there and they begin to remove the sand and realize that it was not one but two girls that were dead in the sand.
Two dead bodies. Double your pleasure, Peter.
So Mary Ann Schmidt was found lying on her side with her bathing suit partly cut off. Christine was found lying face down with her head touching Mary Ann's foot. Drag marks nearby led investigators to conclude she'd been placed there after she was killed. And Christine also had her bathing suit partly cut open. The scene indicated that Mary Ann had been murdered first. Christine then attempted to run away and escape, but unfortunately the attacker caught her and killed her and then dragged her back to where Mary Ann had been killed. The drag marks provided one clue. Along it was pools of blood caused by the killer stopping to rest while moving her. Stop. Will you listen?
It's gross.
But she was really small, so the fact that he had to stop several times while dragging her body
means that he was really small,
That's
too.
right.
So it was a baby killer.
All right, so they trawled the sand nearby in hopes of finding the murder weapon. They trawled it.
Trawled?
Yes.
Is that a word?
It is a word.
How do you spell it?
Trawled.
Trawled.
You ever heard of that?
I don't. I think we need a. Can I phone a friend?
No, just listen.
Can I have a lifeline to get out of this story, please?
So they can't find anything. They did find a bloody knife, but
gross.
they could not link it to the murders. So
those of you who are listening to this because you like murder, what's wrong with you? Why
will
do
you
like
stop
this?
and just listen?
I'm trying to listen.
Shut up
it's
and
just
listen.
Gross. It makes me sick.
Tire marks from a car were also located not far from the crime scene.
Easily figured out.
So they did postmortems on the girls.
Postmortem what?
Postmortem examinations.
Oh.
Both the victims had been so brutally, savagely attacked that they never publicly revealed the full report.
This doesn't make your stomach hurt at all. Like, it makes my stomach
So
hurt.
just buckle up. Will you shut up and buckle up for me, please?
Jesus.
We do know Mary Ann had been stabbed multiple times, and one punctured her throat, and it had been so brutally cut her head was almost severed.
Jesus.
Christine...
Can we just talk about who's the boss?
...was also stabbed multiple times. In the back of her head, she had a blunt trauma.
None of the... Who's the boss
which
never makes your
supported
stomach hurt.
the theory that she was running away when she was killed. There were signs of a sexual assault and attempted rape, but they were both still virgins at the time of death. A semen sample was collected from the scene.
Gross.
But it has been lost
He
to time.
everywhere. He jizzed everywhere. He's murdering these people.
But the toxicology report also showed Christine had a blood alcohol level of 0.015.
Uh-oh.
And she wasn't known to be a drinker.
Something.
But she also left for a little while and came back.
Christine went and got some hooch.
So Christine had also eaten a meal containing celery and cabbage shortly before her death, but those weren't things that they brought with them. So that was another thing that was weird.
Nobody had no celery and cabbage over here. She must have went to that celery and cabbage party.
So they questioned the young children like real extensively, and it's hard because the kids are so young.
Norbert,
they're traumatized.
Norbert, did she ever take you to a celery and cabbage party? Norbert?
So Wolfgang tells him about the teenage boy he saw, and Peter tells him about the girls going the wrong way. And Trixie also said that she saw the girls talking to a teenage boy on the train.
And he was covered in celery and cabbage.
But it was discovered that that boy got off the train at Redfern Station.
Oh.
Although Wolfgang's description and story kept altering when they spoke to him, investigators did believe the crab hunting kid was the best lead that they had. But he would never be identified. They could never find him.
So that guy that got off the train, he was going to a rutabaga party.
Yes.
And not a celery and cabbage party.
They did hear of a man who in days before this had been sexually harassing girls on the beach.
Oh.
And there was a lifeguard that confirmed that.
Yeah, that guy's always been there, though. That's just Rick.
Yeah, the lifeguard had physically escorted him from the beach, but that they could never identify that man.
That guy had a mustache.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the beach today and sexually harass everybody.
They had a reward, a 10,000 pound reward.
Oh, geez. Oh, 10,000 pounds. And do the math.
It was later converted to $20,000 when Australia changed currency.
Oh, okay.
And that was put up in February 1965.
I was trying to do my math currency. I was trying to do the exchange in my head. I thought it was like $40.
And so once they had that reward, then every teenager in the town was calling the police saying,
who did it.
Yeah.
It was that crab camp. I was at that
They
celery.
interviewed over 7,000 people.
7,000? That's probably all the people that were in Australia at the time.
But the killer was never identified.
Oh.
But there are a couple cases that might be related.
Oh, more murders and cabbage.
First of all, just over a year after these happened, on January 29th, 1966.
Oh, you mean January 29th, 1966, the same day that on the Donna Reed show, Willie Mays left 4 tickets to the Donna Reed family to one of his games, but the problem came when Alex, Jeff, and Donna all invited guests to join them. Oh, what's going to happen? And also, the same day that U.S. Figure Skating Championship is won by Peggy Fleming? That day?
That day.
What happened on that day?
Wilhelmina Kruger was murdered in the Piccadilly Arcade in Wollongong.
Oh, Wilhelmina Kruger.
Which
you
is
don't
not
want to
very
die in an
far
arcade.
from where Wanda Beach was.
And her stomach was filled with celery and cabbage.
She worked as a cleaning lady, and she was discovered in the footwell of the local butcher's shop at around 6 a.m. by a worker.
Oh.
She was partly stripped of her clothes, had been savagely stabbed, strangled, and mutilated to an extreme level of violence.
That's
her
disgusting.
killer was never identified, and so they think that might be
related.
Then, less than 3 weeks later, another murder occurred on February 17th, 1966.
You said February 15th, 1966.
Oh, sorry.
That's what you texted me. Okay, February 17th, 1966, 2 days after Lisa was born, from Lisa and Cult Jam. She was born in Hell's Kitchen in New York City.
Okay.
And where she was the youngest of 10 to a religious mother who supported the family by babysitting, and her father was absentee.
How could you support a whole family by babysitting? I guess you just have other people's in your...
had to.
Yeah.
And she was also a student at Julia Richmond High School in Manhattan, which notable alumni include Lauren Bacall, notable alumni, my spin-off podcast coming out soon.
So,
also in school, Lisa was part of a traveling singing group that sang Motown hits and songs from old Broadway musicals.
All right, enough. So, yes, on that date...
2 days after Lisa was born? Because you gave me February.
I know,
10th,
I get it.
Sorry.
Anna Dowling Koa vanished after visiting a King's Cross nightclub.
At least nobody's found her.
She was a prostitute.
Oh.
They found her mutilated body on the side of the road by a truck driver. He had found her.
And he was hauling cabbage.
She was semi-naked and had been strangled and stabbed. That remains unsolved as well.
Maybe it's these beers that are making us hearing out all this stuff.
So there was, in 2012, police announced that a weak male DNA sample had been extracted from Christine's shorts.
Really?
But it was too weak to prove useful yet, but they're hoping that with further advancements in technology, it might eventually help them identify the killer.
Yeah, but in 2012, everybody dead.
I know, right? In 2014, it was announced that semen samples collected from the scene of the Wanda Beach murders had been lost.
Somebody drank that shit.
Something happened.
Somebody, you know who drank it? Somebody who is known as the cum guzzler. That's
so there are three big suspects.
Delicious. This is the good stuff.
I'm just going to go quickly over these three suspects.
Boy are going to team up together. Okay, give me the suspects.
All right, Alan Bassett is the first one. In 1966, he was convicted for the murder of 20-year-old Carolyn Orphan. They had met during a night in Wollongong on June 10th, 1966.
Oh, they met the same day that Beatles record Rain came out, which is the first album to use reverse tapes.
Yes.
Also, on the Lucy show, Lucy's a contestant on Art Linkletter's television show. And she's offered $200 if she can shut up for 24 hours.
And she can't do it, probably.
Well, Art sends along another audience member, Ruth, to see how she does. And Ruth is a secret plant from the show who tries her best to make Lucy scream. So also other plants that try to make her scream are the one-armed fugitive and cop who have a shootout in her apartment, and the guy in the gorilla suit that attacks her.
Okay.
And Fred and Ethel 69.
No, all right.
I don't think they were on the Lucy show.
All right. Okay, so it is stupid.
It's not stupid. It's
so
great.
Yes, they had met that night. They hit it off.
Yeah.
And so she decided to let him take her home when he offered.
Oh, just because they hit it off? You're gonna go home with the guy the first take?
So he drove her the wrong way, and then he tied her hands behind her back, beat her and raped her.
Jeez.
But then he drug her from the car and found a rock and smashed it over her head and killed her.
Good Lord.
Then
dude,
the same
just
guy
make out with her. She's already wants to make out with you.
And then in this same guy in 1975, he gave a painting to this former detective.
No, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Named C. Johnson.
Named what?
CEC. How would you say that?
CEC? There's probably another E there that's missing. CC?
It's in there a couple times.
No.
But
Keck?
He gave the detective this painting, and the detective became convinced that the painting, which was named A Bloody Awful Thing, that it was depicting the scene of the Wanda Beach murder. And it was a painting that Alan had painted
himself.
Alan Bassett, yes. He was released from prison in 1995 after 29 years, and he volunteered his DNA in the hopes of clearing his name in the Wanda Beach murders. But I don't know if the police, I don't know if they can.
He volunteered where?
He volunteered his DNA.
Oh, he volunteered his DNA. I thought you were saying he was volunteering the police department to try to clear his.
Then another suspect is our friend of the show, Christopher Wilder, who is also known as the Beauty Queen Killer from episode 1984.
Oh.
Yes, we've heard his story already.
Oh, we did?
Yes. He's the one who...
They all run together.
I know. He's the one who was fighting with the cop, and he accidentally shot himself, or on purpose. It's hard to tell. And he would go to those beauty pageants and sit in the audience and leer up at the girls.
I remember that.
Remember they had that picture of him? It shows that picture of him looking at a girl on stage.
Oh, yeah. Creepy.
Yep.
Pretty much any guy in a beauty pageant
is creepy. By himself and stuff. So he was he's the one that shot himself dead while trying to wrestle with a cop. He was responsible for at least 8 murders. They found out he had emigrated to the United States in 1969 after the failure of his first marriage.
Yeah.
He had been convicted also for taking part in a gang rape in Sydney in 1963, and that was on the beach.
A gang rape on the beach?
Yeah.
How beautiful. How romantic.
In 1968, his wife allegedly reported her concerns about her husband to the authorities.
Wait, we're still talking about the same guy?
Yeah. But the police didn't act quickly on the information, so he had left the country by the time they got around to it.
I'm tired of you disparaging the police. Blue lives matter.
He would have been 19 years old at the time of the Wanda Beach murders. Oh. Then the third is probably the biggest scumbag in the group. His name is Derek Percy.
Derek Percy's a scumbag, y'all.
He killed Yvonne Toohey on a Victoria beach in 1969. And he was unfit to plead due to insanity. And Yvonne Toohey was just 12 years old when he killed her.
Jeez.
He was also possibly responsible for other murders, including Simon Brooks, age 3, found in a cubbyhole not far from his home. That Derek Percy...
3-year-old? We're talking about 3-year-old murders now? Come on.
Derek Percy stated that he had driven down the same street the day Simon was killed, but he couldn't recall if he had committed the murder.
Where does this passion of murder go?
The Beaumont children were 3 siblings that vanished from the beach, and people could show that Percy was in the area at the time. Linda Stillwell, an 8-year-old who vanished. Percy again admitted to being in the area.
Children should be off limits.
Alan Redston, 6-year-old, found dead in a muddy creek not far from his home.
Do we have to talk about a bunch of dead kids?
Alan was, and Derek Percy was in the area, and then these Wanda Beach murders as well. But during his initial arrest for the murder of Yvonne Toohey, Derek Percy was also asked about the other murders.
Yeah.
And he just said, I could have done it, but I can't remember. In June 2013, age 64, Derek Percy died from cancer while still incarcerated. Any hope that he would make a deathbed confession to any of the crimes he was suspected of committing would not be forthcoming. If he had any secrets, he sadly took them to his grave.
You know, I have one other suspect to add.
But who?
That Randy Gardner guy who was staying awake from 11 days.
Oh,
Like,
maybe.
he didn't remember what he was subtracting
true.
7. He might have done it, not
murdered
remembered.
these people.
Yeah.
So I got most of this I got it from Wikipedia, I got it from unsolvedcasebook.com.
Oh.
And I got it from
unsolvedcasebook.com.
the Case File podcast. Did a good
Do they
one.
talk about raping children all day too, like this, and like it? People listen to it like, yeah, more rape, please, more horrible
guess they
murders,
do.
more beheadings and gross eyeballs
There was no eyeballs.
getting ripped out.
There was no eyeballs.
I think the girl's head was all ripped off, right? It's all
Yeah, but they didn't
gross.
snap the eyeballs.
Her eyeball was in there.
There's no
and she
eyeballs involved.
decapitated. Her eyeball's part of her head.
All right.
All right, I got one more thing in January. Oh, we're gonna cleanse the palate.
Yeah, we need to cleanse the palate.
Yeah, I don't know why. Whoops.
What are you doing?
The dog is in the way.
You're letting the dog on your lap in the middle of a podcast.
She's a baby. Okay.
What is she doing?
She is licking me. All right, Saturday, January 20th.
She's just looking at you.
Saturday, January 20th. She wants to keep licking my hand, and it's hard because I'm trying to use the mouse. Saturday, January 23rd, 1965, we have a new #1 song on the Billboard charts by Dog. Well, she's fighting for my attention.
She's looking up at you through her eyelashes.
She doesn't want the laptop to get my attention. Okay, January 23rd, 1965, we have a new #1 song on the Billboard chart by Petula Clark.
Mm-hmm.
You know her?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite song by her?
Oh.
Is it this one?
Let me hear it.
Stop kissing me.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
No, I was talking about the dog. The song's been covered by many singers.
Oh, yeah.
Including
Downtown.
Dolly Parton.
When
Emma
you're
Bunton.
This is the one I was thinking
and the
of.
Saw
making
Doctor.
you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got
Downtown.
all the noise and the
Isn't this from a
hurry
musical?
seems to help, I know.
It could be.
Downtown. Just
Isn't it
listen
in like
to the
Little Shop of
music
Horrors or
of the
something?
traffic in the city.
No, it's in something. In the autumn of 1964, Tony Hatch, who wrote this song, he made his first visit to New York City, spending 3 days there in search of material from music publishers for the artists he was producing. He recalled, I was staying at a hotel on Central Park and I wandered down to Broadway into Times Square and I naively thought I was downtown. I loved the whole atmosphere and the music came to me. I loved the whole atmosphere there and the music came to me very, very quickly. He was standing on the corner of 48th Street waiting for the traffic lights to change, looking towards Times Square when the melody first came to him, just as the neon signs went on, he says.
Okay.
Did you ever meet Petula Clark?
No, I have not.
And that is all for January of 1965. We'll pick up in February.
Okay.
On the next episode when the Righteous Brothers take over. But for now...
Oh, that's a tease. Little teaser.
A little teaser. For now, we'll have to say, get the fuck out of here, Chuck Berry. And
Get
thank
outta
you
here,
for
Chuck Berry.
listening.
That's right.
Sorry about all the murders. But apparently, some of you like it because you're listening to it.
That's right.
And I don't think we'll ever gain any fans who aren't true crime fans because you litter every episode with gross, disgusting murders that make me
true.
wish I was not alive.
Well, that's how I felt when you did all the wrestling in the 80s. So we're even now.
We're not even. Greg the Hammer Valentine.
No.
I just had to say it.
We're not talking
That's
about
it.
him.
You know what? To get you back, I'm
Mhm.
going to get a giant full back tattoo of Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh, God. All right.
And you're going to have to look at it every time you wash my back.
Well, I guess I'll do that, babe.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We like you. Thanks for listening to podcasts. Keep listening to podcasts. There's a million of them. There's literally 5,000 podcasts a day that are new, that are out there. There are a billion of them. Most of them are terrible. So is ours. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
If you like this podcast, there's probably something wrong with you, but that's okay. There's something wrong with us, especially my wife.
What?
Because murders are terrible. Sorry. No, I just don't understand this true crime fad. Is it ever going to go away?
All right.
I
Goodbye.
guess I shouldn't say that being a true crime podcast. Ever. Oh, whoa, hey, what? Whoa. No, don't do that. That's not a good sound. That was a terrible sound. Anyway, back to Tony Danza and Who's the Boss history. Episode 2 of Who's the Boss.
When you were all along the watchtower, kissing the sky, well, I was barely a glimmer in my young daddy's eye. Said that we're so tired of hearing about the 60s. One more time, I said we're so tired of hearing about the 60s. Well, make me shut my mouth.
Samantha, that's a hickey.
American Timelines is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Find out more at queencitypodcastnetwork.com.
Free for jerks. Free for jerks.